You know, I always like to think of music as a language. If you take, for example, the Russian alphabet kind of looks foreign to us. You have to learn the alphabet before you can learn the language. Same thing with Chinese. You have to learn 200 plus characters in order to learn the language of Chinese. And the same thing with English. You have to learn all 26 letters of the English alphabet before you can learn how to speak English. Same thing applies to music. You have to learn all the notes or all the letters, so-called letters, in music in order to understand and speak music. Speak music to other people, to communicate ideas in a educated way or something like that. So you have to know the language. And in this language, in this alphabet, there are only 12 quote letters, I guess you could say. In music we call them notes. So there's 12 notes that you can choose from, and I'm just going to refer to them as notes from now on. There's 12 notes, and within these 12 notes there are 7 natural notes, and these natural notes are just A. And I'll move that over a little bit. A, B, kind of a weird, okay, there we go, C, D, I'm kind of writing at an awkward angle, so that's why it looks all weird there, E, F, and G. And these are your 7 natural notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I said there's 12 notes in the alphabet, but I only have 7 here. Where are the other 5? Where are the other 5? And the answer is they're in between here. They're in between these notes, except for a couple of exceptions, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But there are 5 notes that are not natural notes, and we refer to them differently. Okay, so for example, there is a note in between A and B, and this note in between A and B can either be called an A sharp, or it can be called a B flat. Now let's stop for a minute. The reason why this note can be called A sharp is because in this point, in this sequence of our alphabet, this second note is above A, so that's why we call it A sharp, and it's also below B, which is why we can also call it a B flat. So this sharp symbol just means a note above the previous note, and this flat symbol, all that means is the note below the next note. Okay? And you can refer to this second note in this sequence either as A sharp because it's above A, or B flat because it's below B. Let's try the other one. Now, in between here, I said there's a few exceptions. In between B and C, there is no note in between here. So this is the first note, the second note, the third note, and then this is the fourth note. The fifth note is in between C and D. What do you suppose we call this note here? Well, we'll follow this thing right here, and we'll say, well, this one is a C what? C. We'll put this camera up a little bit. There we go. This note is called what? A C sharp. Or it can be called what? A D flat. Right? C sharp because it's the note above C, and D flat because it's the note below D. Okay? Now then, so that's the fifth note of the sequence. This is the sixth note. The seventh note over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, can either be called what? Same thing, a D sharp, or it can be called what? An E flat. An E flat. Okay? So this note can either be called a D sharp or an E flat. D sharp because it's the note above D, E flat because it's the note below E. Again, here, between E and F, there's another exception. There's no note in between E and F. So these two things right here, there's no note in between B and C and E and F. Those two things you'll just have to memorize and know. Then we get to here. There's another note in between F and G, and this note is called F sharp, right? One note above F, or you can probably guess what it is now, a G flat. One note below G. And then there's also one more note after G. And this one is either called G sharp, or what do you suppose this is called? This is G sharp. What's the next natural note? A. A flat. And you might be saying, well, this is all the way down here. If this is called A flat, that means that there must be another A over here, right? Because, I mean, you wouldn't be going down from here and then you'd be over here. Well, that's exactly the case. There is another A over here. You see, there is another A on this side, because this A flat implies that this whole entire sequence starts over again. But basically what I want to get across is that the musical alphabet, and this isn't included, the musical alphabet starts on A, ends on G sharp, A flat. Okay? Also, I want you to really get what sharps mean and what flats mean. And that there's no note in between B and C or E and F. Just become extremely familiar with this sequence, with the musical alphabet, and everything else in music will come much more easier to you. And just kind of get this ingrained in your head. Memorize this entire thing, and you'll be flying. So thanks for watching. Hope you got that. If you have any questions, please comment. Please message. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about this. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more theory lessons and guitar lessons and tips. And I'll see you in the next video.